And gentlemen, guess who's home? Daddy's home. Daddy Elon is back at Tesla. Those are his words. This is partially the main reason why Tesla stock is up 2.5% today. And we talked about this a lot before the compensation package came out, but I think it's important to highlight again, as you've seen Elon become a lot more involved in Tesla. You now have Elon, which is a very powerful force for Tesla, working in your favor. Okay, Elon is actively trying to create shareholder value, whether it's little tweets like this or actual developments like the compensation package or him actually going out and purchasing $1 billion worth of Tesla stock on the open market, by far the largest purchase we've ever seen him do. Mix in with tweets, Elon is trying to get Tesla stock to move higher. That was not the case in years prior. So I wanted to explain that at the start of this video because it's going to make more sense, especially if you've been following the story with Tesla for a while now. Now, here in this video, we're going to be going over all of your breaking news today for Tesla, what's happening in the broader markets today with the economic data like retail sales, which did surprise to the upside. That's a great sign. But we have a lot of other news as well developing today, some of which really good, some of which doesn't sound as good, pretty typical. Tomorrow is the big day with the Fed, the first rate cut in a long time. And, Wall Street investors have very strong opinions on what this could do for markets. And I will share mine with you, my perspective, in today's episode. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. If you want to come trade with us in real time, every time I make trades, check out that link down below in the description of this video to join the trading community. And here on the day today, this portfolio, the trading community portfolio, is up 197.3% year to date. I said a couple of weeks ago, I thought this portfolio would be up 200+% to end out this year. We're almost already there. So it could be even more dramatic than that. Don't be a jackass, though. This is not a recommendation. It's not financial advice. If you blindly invest alongside anyone else, you are destined to lose money at some point. You really have to understand the companies you are investing in. You have to. It's critical. One bad day happens. You get spooked out, next day later, stock goes up a lot. Okay. You have to understand the companies you're investing in. Contact a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. But if you want to join, link down below in the description of today's episode. Okay, so first things first, Elon Musk says daddy is very much home. He responds to this tweet that he put out. Tesla up $69 to $420 as foretold in the prophecy. He said that yesterday, obviously a joke. We all know what 69 means. We all know what 420 means. Okay. Well, Gregor Truck says, guys, he's tweeting about the stock. He's buying the stock. Daddy's home. That's where Elon says daddy is very much home. He says, am burning the midnight oil with Optimus Engineering on Friday night. Then red eye overnight to Austin, arriving 5 a.m., wake up to have lunch with my kids, and then spend all day Saturday afternoon in deep technical reviews for the Tesla AI 5 chip design. You know, it was easy to be bearish on Tesla, easy to be negative on Tesla when Elon was very much not seemingly involved with the company. Elon being involved with Tesla at this degree is a powerful force to drive returns. So in the news today, Waymo has announced that they have received approval to begin operations at the San Francisco International Airport. The permit allows Waymo to access portions of the airport to test and pilot autonomous vehicle operations on designated roads and property and will be rolled out in 3 phases. The phases include number 1, testing autonomous vehicles in autonomous mode with a trained specialist behind the wheel. Number 2, testing passenger service in fully autonomous mode with Waymo employees and designated airport staff as passengers. And then phase 3, piloting commercial operations of paid for hire autonomous services for Waymo customers. Now, we do know that Tesla got a similar approval to start testing operations in the Las Vegas airport. So, seeing one company getting approval like this is good for the whole space. Cybertruck reservation holders in the United Arab Emirates can now place their order. The public online configurator will be launching in a few weeks across the Middle East region, with deliveries that start in Q4 2025. Morgan Stanley's Tesla analyst Adam Jonas said that he just bought a brand new 2026 Tesla Model Y over the weekend to replace his 2021 Model Y. He says, quote, "The improvements in the car's design, materials, finish, suspension, and ride are very noticeable, as are the material improvements in FSD with hardware 4 versus my prior Model Y with hardware 3, which I already thought was great. But the biggest upgrade for the car is hands down having Grok in the car with the long press of the microphone button on the wheel. I was already a Grok subscriber, but in the in-car experience of X's virtual assistant is on another level. The boys and I love Grok the most. I just want to be friends with this dude." He says, quote, "The end of the month expiry of the $7,500 federal EV tax credit, 36-month lease, and the offer to carry over my FSD subscription to the new model is what compelled me. I filled out the paperwork over the Tesla app, and when I went to the Mount Kisco store to pick up the vehicle, the process took about 7 minutes. I walked in, they had my binder, walked me to the car, put the plates on it, and off I went. I forgot how easy the process of buying and leasing a Tesla is. It is easier than buying a bicycle," he said. Elon Musk says he then flies to Colossus 2 on Monday to walk the whole data center floor, review transformers and power production with excellent progress, and then depart by midnight. He says then up to 12 hours of back-to-back meetings across all Tesla departments, but particular focus on AI and autopilot, Optimus production, and vehicle production/delivery. So Elon is hands-on very much at Tesla again. Also in the news today, 15,350 new Teslas were insured in China last week, the best week of Q3 2025 so far. This included the Model Y at 9,460 units, the Model 3 at 4,860, the Model YL at 1,030. So very strong numbers coming out of China, which again likely fuels upside to delivery estimates. Everyone's expecting a strong quarter for Q3 in the US. China is very strong. That's going to fuel what is likely an upside surprise for deliveries, but also Q4. Q4 is going to be really strong in China. Q4 should be really strong in the US. There's no reason to believe otherwise. And at this point, that's not something that is widely priced in Tesla stock. And this is how large Elon's purchase was by comparison of other open market insider purchases of Tesla stock in the company since 2010. Larry Ellison in February of 2020 bought $950,000 worth. Joe Gebbia, April 2025, bought $1 million. Elon in 2018 bought $10 million. In February 2020, bought $10 million. In June of 2018, bought $25 million. And now September of 2025, bought $1 billion. So there's nothing even remotely close to the level of purchase we just seen from Elon. In option activity today for Tesla, you can see a continuation of the very strong momentum we had yesterday, really on Friday and on Thursday as well. You've had a lot of very bullish option activity. Today, you have 158 different trades from hedge funds and institutions totaling $425 million, with a positive order value of 93%. For this Friday's expiration, September 19th, volume today is 61.5% calls, 38.6% puts. Tesla's short interest of free float sits at 2.87%, $33.11 billion sold short in Tesla stock, totaling about 81 million shares in total that are sold short. And here on the day today, you have 455,000 shares that are being covered on or shorted. Okay, let's be honest. They're being shorted today. We've seen this recently, and I think most of this has to do with the Fed meeting tomorrow. And one of the best ways to have a short trade on this market is potentially Tesla with a high beta, right? I think it's just a broader market trade versus like a firms are bearish on Tesla kind of trade. Hopefully that makes sense. Here in the news today, we did get some very positive economic data from retail sales month over month that came in positive 0.6% versus estimates of positive 0.2%. So that's really good. Last month was revised up from 0.5% to 0.6%. So even with an upward revision, we still came in very strong. So that's good. Export prices month over month, import prices month over month came in a little bit stronger than expected, but it's not something that tends to feed into inflation all too much. Industrial production month over month came in stronger than expected. Capacity utilization came in line with expectations. Manufacturing production month over month also came in stronger than expected. So what did this do today? It raised the GDP estimate from 3.1% to 3.4%. It raised the real personal consumption expenditures growth from 2.3% to 2.7%, and it changed the private domestic investment growth from 6.2% to 6.9%. So, metrics of how this economy are doing internally look pretty good right now, even though we've had some weakening in the labor market as of recently. Tomorrow is obviously the big day of this week. We will get building permits and housing starts and smaller data in the morning. Bank of Canada interest rate decision. They are also expected to cut rates. But at 2 p.m., you will get the summary of economic projections. This is where the Fed goes out with their dot plot and they dot out where they think interest rates will be, where inflation will be, where GDP will be, where unemployment will be, okay, as well as PCE, okay? So they give their estimates. They give their estimate of the neutral rate and the long run rate for all of these metrics as well. I believe the Fed's probably going to come in pretty close to where the markets are at right now. 5-ish rate cuts over the next year, 6 rate cuts, maybe somewhere around there. I don't think the Fed's going to come in at like 3 or even 4 would be on the low side. I think around where the markets are pricing is probably pretty accurate. If that's the case, again, it doesn't matter what happens to stocks if stocks sell off or even go up after the Fed cut tomorrow. As long as those expectations are pretty well in line with markets, it's kind of a non-event. Okay, now if expectations are low, then that's going to be a really bearish result for the markets. If the Fed is maybe a little bit more aggressive than the markets are pricing in terms of cuts, that's going to be could be a little bit more on the positive side. Now, there's a lot of Wall Street that believes we're going to get a sell the news event when it comes to the first rate cut. Now, S&P briefly hit a new all-time high today, trading lower, 0.1% right now. NASDAQ, same, hit a new all-time high today, trading a little bit lower today. And the IWM or the Russell hit a new all-time high a couple days ago and has been slowly trending lower. And just with how strong September has been, again, we're talking about stocks at all-time highs, don't be surprised when we do see a little bit of selling pressure tomorrow. That's kind of my expectation, is we're going to get some selling pressure tomorrow. But I will be pleasantly surprised if stocks do go up tomorrow. Now, I think it could be a little bit of a mixed market. I wouldn't be shocked if big tech sold off and banks did well and small caps did well, right? For an example, okay, you could see quite a rotation in markets tomorrow. Don't be shocked. News today, Trump's TikTok agreement with China is similar to the one worked out earlier this year, according to sources. India's Prime Minister Modi says, like President Trump, I am also fully committed to taking the India-US comprehensive and global partnership to new heights. And the UK and the US are set to announce closer co-cooperation on crypto. And a House GOP draft bill would fund the government through November 21st. So starting on October 1st, if there is not a continuing resolution signed or just an outright increase to the debt limit, the government will shut down on October 1st. That is one certainty that is weighing on markets. Now, I will tell you, historically, government shutdowns are not negative for stocks, okay? But this time around, it could be. Now, Donald Trump's first presidency was actually when we had the longest government shutdown, which lasted about 45 days, if my memory serves me well, something like that. And again, typically it's not a terrible situation, but when there's already weakness in the labor market, it can be maybe a little bit more problematic, make the markets a little bit more nervous, because essentially government parks shut down, government workers do not get paid, okay, military does not get paid. That could have a trickle-down effect. House Speaker Johnson says that he expects the vote on the stopgap bill by Friday. Donald Trump says today the stock market is hitting all sorts of records. And again, this is something I'm going to tell you right now. Just add it to the bull thesis for next year and really for the last 3 months of this year. I think Donald Trump personally wants the achievement or record of the strongest stock market of any president. Okay. I think that's kind of what Trump is striving for here. So every time, there's a problem with markets don't like something, Trump tacos out of it. I hate that terminology, but that's pretty much what happens. Also in the news today, rents fall for the 25th straight month. In August, rents dropped 2.2% year on year, the 25th consecutive annual decline, and 2.6% from the 2022 peak to a median of $1,713 across major metros, according to Realtor.com. Stephen Moran was sworn in as a member of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, so he will be a voter in tomorrow's Fed meeting, which is technically going on today. Donald Trump says today Zelensky is going to have to make a deal. Europe must stop buying oil from Russia. Trump says it looks like I'll have to sit in the room with Zelensky and Putin. And the DOJ to challenge the ruling on Fed's Cook soon at the Supreme Court. So basically, the courts ruled that Trump cannot fire Lisa Cook, and Trump and the government is saying, look, we're going to challenge that. Try to get Fed Cook out of there. Donald Trump says today the Fed should listen to people, but they have to make a choice. Barclays today says we don't see any signs of stress in the U.S. consumer. And Trump says we will be announcing the buyer for TikTok soon. In the next video, we will be going over specifically what could happen to markets tomorrow if we have a good or bad reaction from the Fed and my specific expectations from the Fed. In the meantime, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and check out that link down below in the description of this video if you want to come join the trading community. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.